Hey there, everybody. Welcome to a new The Blacklist Season 9 video. And there should be just like a trumpeting fanfare behind us or something, because happy filming week.
Nice.
It's the best we got here. Listen, neither one of us are trumpeters.
That was worse.
Hey, you held that note at the end pretty impressively, but filming...
Please don't unsubscribe.
Filming is here, guys. We have waited so long to get to this date. We're like a month and a half out, more or less, from the show coming back on NBC, so we can finally, hopefully, start getting more, like, tangible scoop and details and teases for what is coming up next.
So we're going to be having a bit of a schedule change. If you guys have been here all summer with us, you know that Tuesdays, Fridays, those are our Blacklist upload days. Mm-hmm. But we're going to be changing that up. So for this week, of course, we have this video today on Tuesday. We're going to be, instead of Fridays, moving it to Thursdays. And that is because the Blacklist has moved to Thursdays. So going forward past this week, next week, we are going to have only one upload a week, and it is going to be on Thursdays until the show comes back in October. And then we will be back with our normal reviews on Thursdays and then previews.
Yeah, we there's gonna be so much. God, I'm so excited. I'm like overflowing. This is so weird. It's like we were so mad at the season 8 finale. We were just on here talking about how terrible it was, and yet, despite how terrible that finale was, they've got me lured right back to being excited for season 9.
I can't wait for it to come back. Listen, we love this show. We truly love this show. Yeah. There's been some problems with it, but with anything that you're a fan of, there's going to be things that you really like and things that you got to be honest with yourself about stuff that maybe you don't like. But what I do like is that they are starting filming. That means that there's going to be a lot more information coming forward that is going to be current.
Yeah, and we do have an interesting little tease that we're going to get into in this video, and we'll talk a little bit about the long-term future as well. But before we go further, if you guys enjoy this discussion, hit that subscribe button. Jess already laid out our schedule. We're not going anywhere, and that is the best way to make sure you don't miss any other video we've got coming up here at the channel.
Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram. We had a lot of adventures this weekend. We made some homemade butter tarts, which is, deep in my soul. My grandma used to love them. I'm Canadian. Butter tarts are a very Canadian thing, so I was kind of missing a bit of Canada, so we had that. Also, Coco got some fresh treats made for her as well. Everybody got spoiled.
It was really funny. I was talking to one of my friends last night, and I mentioned these butter tarts he made, and he just responded, "That is the most Canadian thing I've ever heard."
Correct.
They're also incredibly delicious. But
also correct.
Yeah, check out our Instagram, @JessTV. And all right, we'll get to, I think, what is an interesting tease, I think, for everyone out there with all of your various time jump theories, including some we've talked about here on the channel in the past.
Yeah, there's been some rumors floating around that there was going to be like 5-year, 10-year time jump, and then Red was going to have a heart transplant. There's all kinds of things that were coming out as far as rumors. None of them really had any real legs behind them. That's why we haven't really talked about them, because we'll talk about theories and fun stuff like that. But when it comes to sort of the rumor mill, we don't always dive into that unless there's the story has to have real footing.
Yeah, and really, this is the closest to real footing that we've had. So for those of you who don't know, Agnes, the character, is actually played by twins, actually played by 2 young actresses, and this is pretty common. That way you don't have, one young actor having to do work pretty much all the time as like an extremely young character. Mm-hmm. But these performers, they posted an Instagram story over the weekend that sort of showed like a very blurry, front page script. This is always the move, so we can never actually find out an episode title or anything.
Yeah.
But they made it clear that that was sort of a project for them, looking over the script this past weekend and, using our incredible powers of deducing here, otherwise known as you can't age up actual young performers like years overnight. I think it's fair to say, at least for some of the season, we're not going to be jumping ahead that much. Otherwise, you would have had to recast Agnes.
Yeah, I think it's a big clue that they are going to be having young Agnes still be part of this? Now, does that mean that they couldn't do a time jump, say, a couple of episodes in? Sure, they could. But it seems like at least when we get back, it might be at the same time. It might be like maybe 10 months later. We've seen that happen on this show. But it seems likely that we're going to be right back into the thick of it. At least that's my hope.
Yeah.
I was really happy to see this Instagram post because I don't want to miss any of the aftermath of what happened to Liz. I don't want them to just time jump over it. Now we're, in a new show. Everybody fine. Like, I'm just not there. I like this idea of being able to get right back into it.
Yeah, I think it's important for a show like this to actually give us some emotional aftermath. And yeah, maybe eventually you're like, okay, we don't want the entire show to be everyone wallowing on Liz's death forever. But, even if it's just a couple of months forward, if you have to do a time jump, you can do something like that. I personally, and I don't think this is going to happen, but we all know what happened the last time Reddington thought that Liz was dead. He went off to Cape. I would love to go back to Cape May, even for like a couple of minutes, and sort of go through like a modified version of that experience before we then start to get a little bit to the other side of it, because I don't think Liz is popping up back from the grave this time around.
No, I think she's gone. Okay, so we did an Agnes video recently where we talked about, who could end up being the guardian of her. Could Reddington actually adopt her? And we sort of were like, well, he's not really going to be able to if he's like, America's Most Wanted, here's a child for you. It just doesn't work like that. And there was a lot of comments about, could Scotty, Tom's mom, end up coming in and taking over Agnes? And the answer is probably not.
I can't see it. I just think that it's a situation where you already have Tom dead. Liz dead. I don't know what the reasoning would be to sort of bring back a big part of Tom's mythology now that mostly existed on a show that NBC canceled a long time ago, and you don't even know if the actress is interested. It just feels like the show has moved on so much from Scotty Hargrave at this point.
Well, Scotty also has a bit of a sketchy past, and I feel like if we're looking at this sort of based in reality, which the show is based in reality, this isn't like sci-fi or anything. It's supposed to be like current times, what's going on, sort of that type of thing. She's not going to get legally her hands on her granddaughter either. It's just not really if it's not going to end up sort of legally going through the system, then Scotty's not the person I want to see with Agnes. I want Reddington to be with Agnes. That is the story that's been presented on this show. And it's difficult for people who maybe haven't watched the spinoff or didn't watch a spinoff. And then we got to bring in this, for a lot of people here, would be sort of like this mostly brand new character.
Yeah, I think it's too much work that they would require everyone to do. I understand why people are thinking about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited to just have Agnes be sort of a part of this world. But the last thing to really get into here, and I think this is inevitable anytime the show starts a season at this point, is, whether or not it's going to be the end of the road. And I feel like right now the writers are probably looking at this one or two different ways. They know, maybe NBC has already told them it's the final season and they're just not allowed to say anything until it's quote unquote official. It's either that or they just don't know. They're just writing and hoping for the best and hoping that they're told in enough time to give us a proper ending.
Yeah. If I had to make a guess, it's probably just open right now because we know that they want to make more Blacklist. I think it's just they lost John Bokenkamp. They lost Megan Boone. It's two really big changes to the show. I think they just want to see how the audience is going to respond, what the ratings are going to be, if they're going to stay steady. They also have the move to Thursday nights. I think they just have a lot that they want to see where the footing is before they're going to make a decision on, is season 9 the end, or are we going to have season 10, 11, 12? I mean, I'm sure everyone wants it to go on. We want it to go on. Yeah. I don't want this to be the last season, but a lot of it's going to depend on those elements. Story, ratings, audience, retention, stuff like that.
I think the best thing they could do right now entering season 9, and I love the big heavy mythology stuff too, don't get me wrong, and I hope we do have some more of it, but I think if they start season 10, and I know this is going to be hard given Liz just died, but finding a way to give some lighter moments, finding a way to give some stories that are kind of mainstream that maybe people who haven't seen the show in a while can dive in and enjoy. You have a better time slot. Like, if you can do a few little things to boost up the ratings somewhat, to give NBC more confidence, why not keep the show around? I mean, you certainly canceled enough other shows, NBC, to have room for it to be there for a little while moving forward.
Yeah, I feel like if they really can give, Liz and Red and their relationship and all the mythology on that, just let it be. We ended it with season 8, moving into season 9, if it can sort of have this fresh coat of paint of like, okay, what happens now? Now that it's not about Liz anymore, they're not bringing it into season 9. If that's where they're going, it's a chance to open the book for a whole bunch of new viewers that might be like, man, this show is really complicated, which it is.
Yeah.
And to jump into the Blacklist in season 6, 7, 8, when it's so complicated, it's too difficult. But going into season 9, if they're like, okay, we close a chapter on this, let's get some brand new people, brand new story, brand new road that we're all driving on. It's a great way to bring in new people.
So everyone out there, hop in the back seat with us as we drive you on this. Well, actually, yeah, you're gonna drive. I can't drive. I don't have a license, but you can drive us on this great new road, and we'll all.
I'll drive us all.
There we go. We'll all be in the car. We'll be singing some tunes together. We'll all have a good time, and let's hope this season does not disappoint.
I don't think it will. I have faith. I have faith. They're gonna be able to get this together.
All right. Well, what do you guys want to see on the Blacklist season 9 as filming is underway? Let us know. And hit that subscribe button. Check out our Instagram at Matt and Jess TV. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you here next time.